In the luminous workspace of an advanced educational culinary laboratory, a subtle yet potent fusion of letter recognition and gastronomical technique unfolds. Today's experiment invites viewers into an intellectually stimulating journey where letters of the alphabet undergo transformation into gourmet treats, meticulously bridging sensory engagement with cognitive learning principles. Drawing upon cutting-edge insights from neurology and cognitive psychology, this presentation posits that multisensory integration is not only an effective educational tool but also a means to revolutionize traditional modes of literacy acquisition. The experiment begins with a provocative inquiry. What if the intricate mechanics of our brain's lexicosemantic networks could be activated through the tactile art of cooking? Bathed in natural light, the immaculate kitchen space is revealed as a meticulously designed laboratory where every utensil, ingredient, and even the calibrated temperature of the ovens serves a purpose. Empirical studies have shown that engaging multiple senses during the learning process can improve retention by nearly 40%, an assertion that lays the groundwork for today's exploration. As our narrative unfolds, detailed technical annotations appear on screen, documenting the precise arrangement of ingredients and the data-driven calibration of every tool, from calibrated silver spoons to jars marked with molecular composition. Here, letters are no longer abstract symbols. They are reimagined as dynamic, tangible objects that move from theoretical constructs to sensory experiences. Animated overlays, powered by real-time computations, illustrate how each letter is linked to both its auditory frequency and visual geometry. This experimental design invites the audience to consider that learning can be as rigorous as it is delectable, an interplay of empirical analysis and creative innovation. Every element of the scene, the gleaming surfaces, the controlled ambient sounds, and the subtle interplay of shadows and light, has been arranged to support a singular mission: to fuse scientific precision with culinary artistry. With this calculated introduction, the stage is set for an exploration that challenges conventional wisdom, inviting even the most expert minds to reassess the boundaries between academic study and sensory delight. Transitioning deeper into our research laboratory, the narrative now enters a tastefully complex letter hunting expedition. The kitchen space is transformed into a meticulously orchestrated field study, resembling a fusion of a high-tech research facility and an artisanal workshop. Every nook and cranny of this environment is purposefully arranged to serve as an investigative site where hidden alphabetic elements await discovery. Through advanced observational techniques, the narrator highlights the existence of latent letter forms among routine ingredients. For instance, a precisely cut apple slice reveals the geometric outline of the letter A, when aligned with exacting precision. The segment is underscored by quantitative data. Graphical overlays present the morphological properties of the letter alongside corresponding auditory frequencies drawn from phonological studies. Each ingredient is systematically analyzed and categorized. Smart tagging, integrated with real-time data acquisition software, associates everyday food items with specific alphabet symbols, thereby transforming a mundane kitchen into a dynamic interactive lab. Detailed visualizations outline the scientific protocol as viewers are invited to identify subtle patterns, analogous to pattern recognition in advanced data analytics, embedded in textures and forms. Furthermore, digital calibrations and algorithmic guides provide step-by-step clarifications, illustrating how precise measurements, such as the curvature of an apple's edge or the spatial distribution of sprinkles on a dessert, directly correlate with successful letter recognition. This phase embodies an interdisciplinary approach where culinary practice meets rigorous scientific inquiry. The narrative not only emphasizes the significance of multisensory learning but also reinforces that each observed detail, down to the refractive index of an ingredient's surface, plays a role in understanding the underlying structure of language. In this integrated scene, the blend of creative exploration with empirical data collection engenders an environment ripe for innovation, challenging viewers to engage with their surroundings through both analytical scrutiny and imaginative play. In the next phase of our meticulously designed experiment, the environment shifts from the dynamic field of letter discovery to a controlled, data-rich pantry that serves as the heart of our study. This state-of-the-art pantry is a repository of carefully cataloged ingredients, each vetted through stringent quality controls and logged with exact measurements, be it moisture content, pH levels, or nutritional value. Here, the narrative zeroes in on a critical component of our investigation: the letter A, embodied by the humble apple. Detailed digital displays provide scientific insights into the apple's structural properties, comparing its natural curvature and segmentation to the angular precision of the letter A. Supplementary infographics reveal that apples, obtained with traceable provenance records, exhibit a natural symmetry that mirrors the geometrical properties of the alphabet. Every ingredient in the pantry is presented as a potential variable in today's experiment. Premium flour, granular sugar, and freshly ground spices form a matrix of elemental factors that are meticulously balanced to support both culinary artistry and precise visual modeling. Advanced inventory systems track each sample, with labels that include nutritional breakdowns and molecular composition data, all of which are cross-referenced with linguistic criteria. The narrative emphasizes that this pantry is not a mere storage space but a dynamic database where empirical data meets sensory analysis. Augmented reality markers scattered among the ingredients prompt viewers to look closer, to identify, for example, a discrete A printed on a jar label or inscribed on the rim of a container. Such prompts are supported by technical annotations explaining how pattern recognition in familiar contexts accelerates cognitive associations between sound and shape. As the narrator guides the audience through this scientific yet inviting space, the integration of advanced digital tools and traditional culinary elements becomes evident. This phase exemplifies the marriage of methodical research and creative expression, underscoring that every ingredient is a story waiting to be decoded through precision, observation, and advanced analytical techniques. In the forthcoming phase, the narrative pivots to the artisan process of transforming these raw ingredients into tangible, edible alphabet forms through a synthesis of culinary expertise and scientific methodology. The scene is set at a dedicated creation station, a long, pristine marble countertop fitted with precision instruments calibrated for intricate measurements. Each step in the transformation is underpinned by rigorous technical standards. The journey commences with the letter A. An apple, chosen for its ideal structural characteristics, is carefully sliced using a blade calibrated to a specific angle, ensuring that the cross-sectional view evokes the perfect geometry of the letter. Digital calipers and high-resolution imaging tools verify that each slice meets the exacting standards of proportionality. The narrative provides detailed annotations on the optimal slicing techniques, highlighting that even minor deviations could alter the perceived shape, a concept backed by computational geometry theories. Following this, the experiment transitions to the letter B. Here, cookie dough, prepared at a controlled temperature and mixed to precise moisture specifications, is meticulously molded into the desired form. Embedded temperature sensors continuously monitor the dough's consistency, ensuring that its rheological properties conform to predetermined standards essential for structural integrity during baking. A series of digital overlays next to the dough visually demonstrate how algorithms predict surface tension and expansion rates once exposed to thermal energy. The oven's preheated state is set to a meticulously calculated temperature profile, ensuring a uniform bake that adheres to the principles of the Maillard reaction. As the cookie dough transforms under these controlled conditions, dynamic data analytics are showcased on screen, correlating the process with previously recorded experimental benchmarks. An innovative auditory element is interwoven into the segment, a rhythmic jingle engineered to resonate at specific frequencies known to enhance phonemic awareness. The auditory stimulus is not incidental. Research in neuroscience indicates that well-modulated soundscapes can boost memory retention by engaging auditory pathways closely tied to linguistic processing. This background melody synchronizes with the tactile activities on the countertop, creating a multi-sensory learning experience. Throughout this creative process, the narrator underscores each technical detail: the viscosity of the apple pulp, the thermal gradient affecting the cookie dough, and even the ambient humidity levels in the kitchen, which all contribute to the final outcome. Child-friendly adaptations are also integrated into this phase. Simplified safety protocols and the use of low-impact utensils are highlighted, ensuring that even in a rigorous, expert-level experiment, accessibility and safety remain paramount. With intermittent pauses, the narrative allows the audience to reflect upon and replicate these methods in their own controlled environments, all while reinforcing the scientific rationale behind each step. The segment, a comprehensive amalgamation of culinary art and empirical research, thus demonstrates how precise measurements and advanced digital techniques can transform basic ingredients into a scientifically validated form of edible topography, paving the way for novel insights into multisensory education. Upon completion of the elaborate transformation process, the narrative shifts into the evaluative phase known as the taste test of knowledge. The final display of letter treats is presented with the precision of a curated dataset, each edible creation arranged on a polished surface that serves as both an aesthetic showcase and an empirical matrix. In this phase, sensory analysis is paramount. The narrator guides the audience through a systematic evaluation of each treat, correlating its physical attributes with pre-established learning benchmarks. Detailed scientific annotations accompany the visual feast. The apple-based A is examined for textural integrity and flavor profile, while the cookie dough B is assessed through a rigorous analysis of its caramelization index and structural consistency. High-resolution spectrographic reviews and viscosity measurements provide quantifiable data, comparing the actual outcomes with predictive models derived from prior studies. For instance, the degree of Maillard-induced browning on the B creation is measured against standard reaction parameters, ensuring that every crystalline nuance meets the expected norm. Overlays of statistical graphs reveal that the natural pectin content in the apple slices contributes significantly to the resilience of its form, a fact supported by biochemical research on fruit textures. As the visual and sensory data coalesce, augmented reality elements project comparative charts and correlation coefficients directly onto the scene, linking flavor compounds to cognitive retention metrics. The narrative emphasizes that this analytical phase is both a celebration of culinary craftsmanship and a confirmation of the hypothesis that multisensory engagement enhances learning efficacy. Each treat's attributes are meticulously recorded, with digital notations highlighting improvements in phonemic awareness and shape recognition. The segment culminates in a synthesized review that asserts the dual achievement of artistic transformation and empirical validation. The taste test of knowledge thus stands not only as a sensory delight but also as a critical benchmark, affirming that the integration of culinary precision with advanced data analysis can revolutionize traditional educational methodologies by making learning a truly delicious and scientifically verifiable experience. In this innovative segment, the narrative extends beyond the immediate experiment to invite reflective inquiry and broader community engagement, heralding further academic investigations into the synthesis of culinary art and educational science. The scientifically inclined audience is encouraged to not only appreciate the transformative process but also to explore additional avenues where empirical data and creative ingenuity intersect. Quantitative outcomes from today's experiment, such as the measurable improvements in letter recognition accuracy and the statistically significant enhancement in phonemic awareness, underscore the efficacy of integrating multisensory techniques with traditional literacy training. Graphs and comparative tables, shown alongside real-time data feeds, highlight how even subtle adjustments in ingredient handling or thermal regulation can impact both taste and cognitive outcomes. The narrative challenges viewers to replicate these methods, urging them to record and analyze their results using similar advanced techniques, thereby contributing to an expanding corpus of research at the nexus of educational science and culinary innovation. A brief behind-the-scenes glimpse reveals the iterative process of calibrating instruments and refining techniques, a testimony to the rigorous experimental design that underpins the project. In this reflective phase, the confluence of creative culinary prowess and empirical inquiry is celebrated as a pioneering model for future educational practices. The narrator's call to action is clear. Embrace these methodologies, test new variables, and share your discoveries with an engaged community of fellow researchers and innovators. This segment artfully converges culinary mastery with robust scientific exploration, leaving the audience inspired to pursue further experiments that meld flavor, form, and function in the quest for enhanced learning outcomes. As the experimental session draws to its close, the narrative provides an articulate synthesis of the day's meticulously orchestrated journey, revisiting the intricate process of harmonizing letter recognition with the art and science of culinary innovation. The narrator systematically recapitulates each phase of the experiment, from the initial spark of inquiry that challenged conventional learning paradigms, through the dynamic field study where hidden letters were unearthed from everyday ingredients, to the transformative crafting process where raw materials were methodically sculpted into perfectly formed alphabetic symbols. Along the way, technical details were not mere supplementary information, they formed the backbone of the experiment. Precise measurements such as those obtained with digital calipers during apple slicing, controlled rheological parameters in cookie dough molding, and real-time thermal imaging during baking were all indispensable in validating the multisensory learning hypothesis. Data overlays, statistical models, and spectrographic analyses demonstrated that the integration of culinary techniques with advanced empirical methods can yield statistically significant improvements in cognitive function and literacy acquisition. The narrator emphasizes that this experiment was far more than a whimsical foray into edible art. It was a data-driven exploration into how multisensory engagement can fundamentally enhance the neural processes underlying letter recognition and phonemic awareness. In a decisive challenge to the audience, viewers are urged to adopt these methods in their own rigorous experimental setups, to innovate further within the intersections of dynamic culinary practices and advanced educational research, and to document and share their outcomes. With a clear directive to push the boundaries of both creativity and scientific inquiry, the narrative concludes by envisioning a future where interdisciplinary methodologies merge seamlessly to redefine learning. The closing reflection is both a call for continued exploration and a celebration of today's unique accomplishment, a call to experiment, analyze, and ultimately, to transform traditional education through a harmonious blend of art, science, and multisensory discovery.